Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Missbthegriot. So I'm back with another storytime story today, and today we are going to be reading Goggles by Ezra Jack Keats. Ezra Jack Keats is one of our favorite authors. Many of you will be familiar with Mr. Keats from one of our favorite stories, The Snowy Day. Do you remember that book? I was looking around for my copy. I borrowed it to someone, and they haven't returned it. However, you'll remember The Snowy Day is a classic, and it recently, I think a few years ago, celebrated its 50th anniversary. So it's a little over 50 years old. And what's so spectacular about The Snowy Day is that that was the very first book where an author featured an African American character in his book. And not only that the character was African American, but that he was also a hero. Okay? And that hero's name is Peter. And guess what? Peter's in this book as well. As a matter of fact, listen to this. It says Peter made his first appearance in the Caldecott Metal picture book, The Snowy Day. And since then, he and his friend Archie and his dog Willie have delighted children in so many books, such as Whistle for Willie, Peter's Chair, A Letter to Amy, Goggles, and Hi Cat. Okay? So that's really exciting news. And we honor Mr. Ezra Jack Keats for his legacy and for being the first to feature an African American character. All right? So let's jump in. But before we jump in, I would like to dedicate this very special book to one of my little best friends. Her name is Mariah. Hi, Mariah. Okay, I want to say hello to her. She knows who she is. And this is for you, my dear. Here we go. Now, remember, whenever we read a book, we always want to make sure that we acknowledge who wrote the book, which is Mr. Ezra Jack Keats. He wrote this book for Fran Minushkin, and the publisher is Collier Books of New York. And let's see. I don't see where the illustrator is listed. However, I do not own the rights to this book, but I am so pleased and count it an honor to be able to read it to you. Here we go. Oopsie. Let's turn this a little bit. There we go. Goggles. Archie, look! Look what I found! Peter shouted through the pipe. Motorcycle goggles! Archie watched Peter through the hole. He listened and smiled. Peter ran to the hideout and put on the goggles. Aren't they great? He asked. Archie smiled and nodded. Peter said, Let's go over your house and sit on the steps. Archie nodded. They started off. Suddenly, some big boys appeared. Give us those goggles, kid. No, they're mine, Peter said. His dog Willie growled. Urgh. Archie, hold Willie, said Peter. You see those big boys messing with them? Peter stuffed the goggles into his pocket and put up his fists. Archie gasped. Peter turned to see if something was wrong. The next thing he knew, he was knocked to the ground. Everyone stared at the goggles. Before anyone could move, Willie snatched the goggles and ran through a hole in the fence. The big boys chased after him. Meet you at the hideout, whispered Peter. Meet you at the hideout, whispered Peter. You go this way, I'll go that way. They won't know where we're going, and Willie will find us. Peter raced to the hideout. He sank down as low as he could. Footsteps! The big boys. They followed me. Peter held his breath. Everybody hold your breath. Okay, let it out, let it out. Archie! Archie! Shh! What was that? Archie looked through the hole. There were the big boys, and there was Willie. They would see him. You see Willie over there? Archie stared at the pipe. Suddenly he spoke. Here, Willie! Through the pipe! Fast! Willie! He still has the goggles in his mouth. Peter peeked through the hole. The big boys were coming. Closer and closer and closer and closer. Peter took a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. Then he yelled through the pipe. Willie! Meet us at the parking lot! Head for the parking lot, one of the big boys yelled. Let's go! Peter, Archie, and Willie crept out of the hideout. When they reached the fence, they got up and ran. They got to Archie's house. Archie laughed and said, We sure fooled them, didn't we? We sure did, said Peter, handing him the goggles. Things look real fine now, Archie said. They sure do, said Peter. Right? They're chilling on the front steps. The end. Did you all enjoy that? Goggles by Ezra Jack Keats. Let's clap it up. They psyched him out. Wasn't that a great story? Goggles by Ezra Jack Keats. So remember, friends, Ezra Jack Keats is one of our most favored authors of all times. And if you can, you might want to check out some more books by him. I'm so glad we had this time together. Thank you for letting me share another storytime story with you. If you enjoyed this story, please click like. Don't forget to share. And if you would like more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.